Good afternoon to Sir Fatty and also to all my fellow viewers who are watching. Uh, my name is Aiman. So today I will be presenting a topic of the effects of rising jet fuel prices and how it may impact the aviation industry. So we'll be looking at on the background, some of the current issue that's actually happening, some of the future solution that can aviation industry implement, some of the benefits that they can take from that, and last but not least, anything that is related to finance on this topic. Okay, so starting off with the background. So jet fuel prices, it has risen over 100% compared to last year due to the war in Ukraine, causing airlines to warn of lower profitability and higher ticket prices. A statement from Willie Walsh, who is the former boss of British Airways, airlines are paying their biggest ever premium for jet fuel. Has put pressure on their balance sheet and driving up ticket prices for passengers. Jet fuel was 50% higher than Brent crude oil at the start of this month, with airlines only paying actually more than $140 a barrel for fuel. Okay, reason why this happened, we were looking at the current issue. Adding the pandemic to the mix and the finances were already precarious. However, it was the war in Ukraine and Russia, which began exactly 2 months ago, that has sent oil prices soaring due to the sanction on the Russian oil and gas. Fuel costs are up to 140% year on year in North America, 126% in Europe, with this figure only to be climbing every month. This has driven by a convergence of high ticket price, high ticket bookings and fuel prices, leading to a 20% increase compound to 2019, according to Willie Walsh. However, looking further out, prices for late summer have risen too, apparently, most likely due to the new fuel prices as he has affected the war between Ukraine and Russia. Okay, so some of the future solution that the aviation industry can take is that number one would be hedging. So, if the aviation industry apply the hedging method, it is where a method where they buy a substantial amount of jet fuel at a fixed price for delivery, while this is not without risk actually if they do implement it, especially where airlines have misinterpreted market and future oil prices. It can mitigate jet fuel price movement in the short term. Another strategy is to buy current oil contract, which is where they lock in fuel purchases at today's price. But will be the advantages part of it is that they would expect the prices of this jet fuel to rise in the future. And last solution is that airlines can actually respond it to rising their fuel prices by turning to a newer and a more fuel efficient aircraft while keeping older jets still in storage. This has allowed the company to really limit their fuel intensity of their operation and provide more insurance against rising prices. Some of the benefits right now we'll be looking at that can actually really help the aviation industry. One thing is that if the meta hedging implemented, this will keep the airlines fare low as other companies struggle. But customers, we as customer and passengers, should keep an eye out for any rise of prices and actually book the tickets that we wanted early. Second is that the benefit, it can actually protect the aviation industry whose fuel costs make up a large portion of their operational costs from unexpected prices that could really hurt their budget and profit margins. It helps to avoid budget overrun caused by a volatile oil market. This will also improve their cash flow and as well stabilize the prices of their tickets. And last but not least, the finance related, Europe, Air France, KLIM has hedged 63% of its bill for Q2 at $90. So this is one of the benefits, one of the actually companies in Europe that has implemented the hedging process with during the duration of the war between Ukraine and Russia. So it's actually much lower than today's $160, which they bought actually at $90, which is why it was increased to 160, while Lufthansa took its entire 2022 supply for just only $63 a barrel. So we can see that how much some of the future solution, hedging and buying some current oil contract can actually help the industry. And Europe was already a big distillate importer before Russia invasion of Ukraine, but the pandemic was actually before the war has caused a supply crunch and a sharp rise in their price, putting a further pressure on airlines' balance sheet. And the last point to finish off is that according to Willie Walsh article, the Willie Walsh, who is the British Airways boss article, according to a Ryanair actually chief executive Michael O'Leary, who has warned ticket prices which will likely to rise over the year. But Ryanair has hedged actually 80% of its expected fuel requirements until March 2023 this year at $65 a barrel before the Russian invasion actually begins, while rival Wizz had no hedges apparent. Ryanair share have fallen only 30% this year, while Wizz, which is their rival, are down at a staggering 55%. Willie Walsh also said forward that ticket bookings remain strong despite growing of the economic uncertainty, and that the outlook for the industry was still positive. Thank you. That will be all for me.